What up, everybody? What's going on, man? You guys already know who it is, man. It's your boy, Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, man. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I upload. Share the content, jump in the comments. Let's get it cracking. And get straight into it, man. Woo! Did you see that score by the Miami Dolphins versus the Denver Broncos? Man, Denver has to be embarrassed. They are absolutely trash. It looked like a junior varsity team going up against an NFL team. Miami Dolphins put up 70 points up on the Denver Broncos, man. I'm going to get into that later, though. I want to get into my picks that I made. I made 5 picks last week. I went 3-2 on my picks. So maybe if you put a 2-man or a 3-man parlay together, and hopefully you got some cash. Started off with the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, I was going to take the spread, the 10.5 point spread, and they covered that 10.5 spread. They shut down the opponent. They could not do anything versus San Francisco. I took the Detroit Lions to cover the 3.5. Detroit also covered that 3.5. I took the Chargers versus the Vikings. There wasn't no line on them when I did my video, but I chose the Chargers. I thought the Chargers would win, and they did win outright versus the Vikings. I also had the Bucks to cover, which they had a push, so you can really not count that. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said, well, you know, technically I went 3-1-1, I guess. And then I took the Commanders to cover versus Buffalo. But we all know how that game ended up. Buffalo stomped the Washington Commanders. Also, on the fantasy side, I said I was going to start Patrick Mahomes. He carved up the Chicago Bears. It was 41-0 at one point. And they had pretty much set Mahomes down and brought in, you know, the backups. He threw for 272 with 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I also said to sit Josh Jacobs. That was a great choice to do if you follow suit. Keenan Allen, I told you guys to start Keenan Allen, and what a day Keenan Allen had. 18 receptions, 215 yards. And in the fantasy league that I play in, the point system is a lot different from some of the traditional fantasy football leagues. But he put up quarterback numbers, 101 points and 80 cents. I'll say it like that. All right. And I also had Mark Andrews to start. He didn't perform well. Baltimore ended up losing the game as well. Now, for this week, I have a couple picks. You guys can follow suit with the picks. We got a lot of divisional games. We got the Lions versus the Packers. The Lions are a 1.5 point favorite versus the Packers. They're going into Green Bay. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions minus the 1.5 in Lambeau Field. Green Bay generally plays great at Lambeau. They pulled off a victory this past Sunday down 17-0. And they came back in the fourth quarter and won the game against the Saints 18-17. You got the 2-1. Both teams are 2-1, by the way. Then you got the 2-1 Commanders versus the 2-1, 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles took care of the Buccaneers last night. Jalen Hurts, prior to last night, was 19-1 as a starter. Now he is 20-1, and that one loss came versus my Washington Commanders. But in this case, there's no line for that game. But I'm going to take Philly at home versus the Washington Commanders. Then you got the red hot Miami Dolphins. I just mentioned them putting up 70 points, this past weekend versus the lowly Broncos. But they roll into Buffalo, man. And the way Buffalo look, they look like the team that they have been elevated to the last few years as far as being Super Bowl contenders. They're at home, and they're a 2.5-point favorite at home. I expect Buffalo to cover that spread with that defense, that crowd, and Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I think they slow the Miami offense down. They for surely are not putting up no 70 points against Buffalo. I think it'll be a close game, division game, but I got Buffalo pulling it out and covering the spread. Last but not least, you got another division game between the Buccaneers and the Saints. Like I said, the Buccaneers and the Saints took a loss. Both teams coming in 2-1. The Buccaneers are, even though they are 2-1, they can easily be 0-3. They haven't really looked too good. They won some close games. Some games they won in the last minute. And I think the Saints are for real. They are minus possibly Derek Carr. He has an AC joint tear to that nature. Yeah, AC joint tear or strain. Not too sure. I think it's a tear, but he's day-to-day. But, you got Jameis Winston back there. Jameis Winston can do two things. He can light you up, or he can throw you the game. But I think with the Saints defense being at home, Jameis being, obviously in the system for a while, I got the Saints. And there was no line on that game as well. But I'm going to take the New Orleans Saints at home in the Dome versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like top performers from week 3, obviously it's all Miami. You got Tua Tagovailoa, who I mentioned last year, and I'm going to keep saying it, is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. As long as he's healthy, he will produce, and that's what he has been doing. He threw for 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards in that game versus the Broncos. Both of their running backs, Mostert had 4 touchdowns, okay? 3 rushing, 1 receiving. And then the rookie, Devon, I can't pronounce his last name. I want to say Acme. He rushed for over 200 yards and also had 4 TDs, which is crazy. I just didn't see that performance coming. I don't think nobody's seen that performance coming. The Miami Dolphins appear right now levels above, at least from the offensive side, and they are a very aggressive defensive unit as well. But from the offensive side of the ball, they look very, very, very unstoppable. Tyreek Hill had another amazing day, and all of that was done without Jalen Waddle. That's what makes it scary. And yeah, the upset of the day was the Arizona Cardinals beating the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we know teams will have letdown games, but that's generally later in the season. Not in the beginning of the season when you're trying to set your mark, set your bar. The Dallas Cowboys have been kicking butt defensively and kicking butt not really offensively, because they've been so good special team and defense-wise that they really did not have to explode offensively. And the Arizona Cardinals, even though prior to that game they were winless, they have been a tough out so far. And they took it straight to Dallas, man. Took it straight to those boys out there in the desert. And it was a good game all around for the Arizona Cardinals. And I believe the Dallas Cowboys just received a wake-up call, because they've been obviously getting all of this Super Bowl talk and praise. And it came back down to earth just that fast for them. I expect Dallas to get back on track, but at least for one Sunday, they tasted defeat. What do you guys think about the picks, man? Drop your picks in the comment section, man. You already know who it is. It's your boy, Sports Guy TV, where we talk sports like religion. And I'm out. Until the next time.